Speaking 26. Today, a physical therapist asked me about the personal example for speaking section, question 1 on the TOEFL. This physical therapist needs 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking. And he said that sometimes he can't think of a personal example. And he's heard some of the people in my videos who were able to get 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking after meetings with me say in those videos that I helped them to finish their TOEFL by realizing that they don't have to give a personal example every time by showing them in my answers, which are available to you test takers listening to this, available to you on YouTube. There's a playlist that's just my answers to TOEFL speaking question 1. So I told this physical therapist, like I'm telling you guys now, listen to my answers. Notice how sometimes I do have a personal example and sometimes I don't. On the questions number 1, when I don't have a real personal example, I don't fake a personal example. Aaron, what do you say instead of that? What am I supposed to say instead of? Here's what you're supposed to say instead of that. You're supposed to look at the words of the question and say whatever it makes you think. Okay. We've been dealing with questions number 1 about education, classes, being a student, a person's education. Okay, let's do it. Other questions number 1 are about a group or solo, by yourself or with a group of friends, individually or together as a team. Team collaboration. There's a synergistic effect. For example, sometimes your friend, maybe you're low energy, but your friend is high energy. So your friend elevates your energy. The advantages of individually, less distractions, probably more time efficient. There's how I talk about a question that's about individual versus a group, or by myself versus on a team kind of question. I don't force, oh, I remember when I was in high school and I was on the team. No, because then it becomes too hard. Then I'm overcomplicating it. In this meeting with this physical therapist, we talked about how, yeah, don't force a personal example. All right, so you guys that are going to try this or are who are hearing this right now, you may not like it because you're thinking like, well, what do I say then if I don't? You're only thinking that right now because of the way that you've been practicing. Hey, yeah, it might feel uncomfortable for one day, you big baby. Aren't you okay with it feeling it uncomfortable for one day to realize on day number 2, only the second day after you start trying to practice like this on your own, isn't it going to be better on day number 2 and all the days after day number 2 when you find out, oh, yeah, of course I can focus more on the words and say things that I truly think, my true opinions on those things, progress the ideas that I already have, scoring rubrics, progression of ideas, progress the ideas that I already have. Do that those times when you don't have a real personal example. My advice to you is that way is a lot better than forcing a fake personal example. This will get you to activate more of your fluency. You're going to be generating, and on a separate note, not everyone is going to pass. I'm going to tell you a quick little story about young Aaron. When I first learned how to drive, my thoughts were, okay, I'm going to be safe. I'm not going to get into an accident. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to get into an accident. I'm going to be in control and be very safe. Guys, do you know how you just heard my intentions were good. Let me repeat that. You just heard my intentions were good to try really hard, to be really safe, to have a lot of control, to not get into an accident, to be really safe, to try really hard, to be in control and be a good driver. My intentions were good. But the strategy that I applied to achieve that was misguided, just like your speaking templates have been. The strategy that I applied was I used to squeeze the steering wheel too tightly my first day of driving, my first few days of driving. Can you see why Aaron, his first day and first few days of driving, thought that was a good idea? My intentions were good. I wanted to have control, to not get into an accident. So I thought that by squeezing tighter on the steering wheel, that was going to mean I'm more ready. I'm more ready to drive safely. I'm fully alert. I'm fully engaged. I have a good grip. I was trying too hard. I was overcomplicating it. All of you that drive know that by having, yeah, you want to have your hand on the steering wheel. You don't want to be squeezing it that with such a tight grip. Relax a little bit. Hey guys, when you're giving your answers, relax a little bit. Part of the reason why you get stuck is because you're trying too hard to give your just great, really good answer. The best personal example that starts with if and is approximately 13.5 seconds. Relax. I like the part on TOEFL's instructions for speaking section question number 1 that says, you will be asked to talk about a familiar topic. Familiar topic is what TOEFL says for question number 1, test takers. It says for question number 1. For question number 3, if you tell me that question number 3 and 4 are unfamiliar, I will agree with you. But I don't care if you agree with me for question number 1, because I have read what TOEFL says, familiar topic. Familiar topic. So don't overcomplicate it. Start practicing in a less complicated way. Don't squeeze the steering wheel so tightly. Best of luck to you. I have showed the most amount of people passing, getting 26 on TOEFL speaking than anybody else has. And when I say show, I mean real people like you can see and hear Michelle here, not just a post that may be real or not, but a person that you can see and hear. The speaking templates are wrong. Because to get 26 on speak, and when you see somebody who did get 26 on speaking or above, and they tell you they used the speaking template, they did not get 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking because of the speaking template. No, they got 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking in spite of the limiting nature of the speaking template. They got 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking because their speaking fluency was so good, is so good, that it was able to overcome the limiting structure that is speaking templates.
I never got 26 using AI website.
Okay, but you did on the real test after meetings with me.
Yeah.
If you want to see more videos with people giving you their best advice on how they got their 26 on TOEFL iBT speaking, you can watch that YouTube playlist. It's connected to this video, and you can find it by searching for TOEFL iBT Speaking 26. You can also find it by going through speaking26.com. These are people who before were not getting 26 on TOEFL speaking and after did get 26 and pass their tests. I asked them, hey, can you give your best advice to people who are still taking the test? How did you go from not passing to passing?
When I read about the TOEFL exam, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, okay, straightforward thing. It's an English exam. How difficult can it be?
The pharmacy board needs specifically 26 in speaking.
I used to change the template. Maybe this is more advanced, so I will use this the next exam, and I try to practice this for maybe a month or two to be able to master it, to say it without thinking. Every time I found myself getting maybe less score or the same score. It doesn't make any difference to just change the templates and use different introductory words. It didn't make any difference for me. Some of my friends advised me to start taking sessions with you.
This helped me in passing my TOEFL exam. Erin helped me to pass and get 26.
Erin, actually, any words will not be enough. But really, I'm very thankful.
26 in speaking, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited to get to the next step in my pharmacist license.
Look at my accent, look at people who got 26. So just surround yourself with people who motivate you.
Look, I passed. That bit that's missing is probably the most important bit to get you to 26.
Yes.
And that's the bit where Aaron, I felt, helped me realize where I was going wrong. And that bit where I was going wrong, I think it goes for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you speak English is your first language or not. That bit that was missing is something everyone really needs to understand in order to get that 26.
Once you are in the level that you need to become advanced in order to get the 26, you need to get rid of the templates.
Template will hinder your ability to deliver the question, because it shows that you are reading something, or you are not speaking, you are reading.
I was using completely different template or different way. I started to apply your way, and once I started to practice your way, oh, it's easy for me.
That was really good for me. It really helps me, because with this in my mind, I could speak faster, and because I was confident.
It's challenging, but you know, after you pass it, the feeling of victory, it's worth it.
As English is my first language, I thought the speaking templates would be enough to get me the 26 that I needed. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I only scored a 23. Your lack of getting 26 is not due to your speaking ability. It has been due to your less than optimal strategy. Get rid of the training wheels.
The templates were like, oh my God, why did they create those templates?
Aaron, you are a big helpful for students like us. We need somebody to like stir revolution in our heart inside, give life to our conversation. And this will never happen through other sites, like they have exact traditional pattern, the template, first, second, for example. Don't say, for example, the second time, for instance. Really? And like robot, I felt myself without life. I don't have the freedom to speak.
You don't have to worry that much about how can I mention 2 reasons with 2 details or 2 examples. It's too much for me. You help students to increase their fluency.
Instead of following that speaking template or any other speaking template, trust your fluency.
For the students who are taking with you, trust this guy. He's amazing. He will shift or improve your level as soon as possible.
Like this, jump my score from 23 to 26, like this. How many hours I took with you? 5. Look at this. 5 hours in 2 weeks. I passed my test.
I was surprised that I passed after 5 sessions together.
I hope you keep inspiring and helping more pharmacists and more other students to achieve their goal and become professionals here in the United States.
If I had just, found you earlier.
For people who's really, they have concern and they need to do it very fast, go to the original, the source of help.
Go to Aaron. He's the guy. He was the guy for me, and hopefully he's the guy for you. And he'll set you straight. He'll tell you what you need to do to get that 26